Hello. Um, Basically today, I'd like to invite you to do some deep breathing meditation to um, an interpretation that my consciousness channeled of an amazing video and realization by Shunyamurti called The Alchemy of Love. And it's basically just my and Amber's sort of version of
Understanding.
understanding it and how we felt about it. Um, what just came through my consciousness, sort of, clearly through meditation. Yeah.
About how quantum energy is love, is consciousness, is the one whole thing,
Mm.
and how it all ties together.
And how that
And
love isn't what you thought it was. Love isn't the feeling of something towards, and that you
an
have towards
external thing,
external sources. It's what is
all
everything. It's
within you.
yeah,
It's
without you.
holding everything.
It's always
It's
there.
always everywhere. And you can choose your how you respond and how you react and how present you are in yourself, with how much love you give and
To
receive.
yourself. It's about giving and receiving. It's
Mm,
about the balance. So yeah, she's doing some breathing and I'll read it. Yeah.
mm.
Love is the universal solvent. It's everything, all oneness. Once we eliminate desire and attainment to something larger than ourselves, we find peace. Because by labeling things and wishing for something um, other than isness, by labeling things and wishing for something other than isness, like what just is everything, by giving energy to external specific stimuli or stimulus, then you block out the love of everything else because you're just focusing on sending love to a
One
specific
aspect.
thing, one aspect of the whole. Um, the truth is that all is love, all is flowing energy, moving as one together, everything. It's all flowing, atoms, matter and antimatter that we are consciously turning into light. Not one part of the universe is greater or worse than the other. We are all beautiful rays of rainbow sunshine light. I know that I love my partner Amber, and I now know that extending that love to all, the entireness of all the multiverses, the one circle of light, the consciousness that surrounds the whole framework of everything, brings full peace. Because, like I say, I know that I love my partner. She's beautiful. But I now know that I love myself, and I know that my partner is an expression of the same thing that is everything. And that it's not necessarily that you should put anything on a pedestal and be like thinking there is separation there and this thing is better than the other thing, because it is all divine, and anything outside of the present moment
Is a
isn't worth,
story.
it's a story, it's not worth giving too much energy to. So
So being present is the best present you can give yourself. Being grounded in what is actually happening. And then you can create that moment of truth from being in that present place
mm,
of where you actually are.
so true. Yeah, like you say, peace. So like realizing that you extend your love to the entireness of everything brings full peace, because then you are not believing in the ideology that any one part is more important or bigger than the whole. Belief in general, like just belief, it's a thought. Belief is a thought of something outside of the oneness. It's saying, I separate this everything because I believe in this thing.
As soon as you believe in
Um,
something, you're creating something.
a
So I
story.
believe that I have a phone, or I believe in this or that or that.
It comes down to as low as as simple as the fact that there is everything is one, and we are deciding as a collective, um, as an illusion, that we'll have separation, and it is ego for me to go, I am George and this is Amber. But we do that because we enjoy it, and we enjoy the version of sensational life that we've manifested.
To be able to experience touching each other and seeing each other.
But in the same way that that is a choice, all the energy that you give outwards to other stories, aside from this, like anxiety, being scared about the future, things
or
like that,
desire, or
or
things that you
desire,
want.
lust, being like this
I
person, I
want
want them
that
so
person,
bad.
or I want that car or that handbag.
Mm.
You're putting all your energy into external stimuli rather than just filling up your own cup of self love and knowing that all of the universe is this one love force of all pure love. So I don't need to push my love out and give it to just something else. Everything can feel this radiant love all at once together.
It suggests by putting that energy outwards that what is out there um, is not something that you can give yourself by saying, "Oh my God, I adore this one person, and if they're not going to be with me, then that's sad." Then you're giving all the energy to the idea that they have something that they have attained that you cannot attain, but
You're
all that
all the
love is
same.
within you. Do you know what I mean? You can look within and meditate and realize that.
Because everything's on these
Um,
energy ley lines. So every part of the universe has the same strength, power, beauty, is the same
Possibility.
light, is the same energy, which is possibility, which is potentiality. All energy is this manifesting creational source, this passionate, exciting wisdom. And we can tune into that at any moment, looking within and, externally. All is the love. There's not just one aspect of it that's perfect, everything is perfect.
Even pain is love. Pain like can
Teach so many
teach so much
lessons.
like
It's
lessons
blessing in
exactly.
disguise.
And also it's like even the word pain is a story. Once you're out of the moment and you're moving in, like once you've had pain, from that point you're moving into healing. At every moment
You
you're
are healer.
yeah, so it's like the pain is dissipating, and the less you give energy to the ideology of that experience, if you don't want to give energy to it, then the less it's going to be manifest. So yeah, like we say, belief in general creates a story, something that has been manifested inside the whole light, inside the one consciousness. So
For all is in light, in ment, meaning in the light.
yes, exactly. Um, so all religion, all politics, all conceptual thought, thinking about things that anything that isn't just breathing in and experiencing oneness, all religion, all politics, all that is just part of this game of creation, manifestation, expression. We choose what we want to create every moment. So by coming into the true presence of peace with all love, through meditation, through yoga, through just conscious breathing in your day, when you realize that you're giving too much to a story, breathing in and realize that you're breathing in self-love.
Receive
That's the universe. And then give to the
before you
universe.
give.
Receive before you give, exactly.
You must receive all the love from the universe to be able to give all the love back to the universe.
So, yes, by coming into true presence of peace with all love, you can attain perfect enlightenment in each um, true whole present moment, being the creator, knowledger, and lover with the all the universe at once. Did you hear that good?
Mm.
There's the that was a bit you channeled, so I'm reading it straight up there. So yeah, this is why, like we say, breathing, meditation, and yoga are truth and love. Um, they ground you in the present moment because they stop you from being lost in the stories, the ideas of life, the things outside of you that you think are dictating who you are, even hobbies, activities, anything that's like labeled like
That isn't who you are. You
you are
are
you.
doing those things.
Yeah, you are the one, everything. You are one consciousness, and your individual consciousness that you're deciding to manifest this separation is deciding to go and do things. But you were perfect from the beginning. It all just is.
And you always are perfect. You are always are just this
Mm.
pure love. And you choose the purity of that love. So even hate is love. It's just love that's forgotten its love and now is expressing fear and is expressing confusion because it's not fully knowing of its truth.
Mm.
And the more that we purify our love, the more that we center ourselves in meditation and yoga, the more that we can connect with our truth and then express outwardly that pure love and that pure gratitude and forgiveness and lack of judgment,
That's
which
the
comes
alchemy
with
of
pure
love.
love.
That's the alchemy of love. Like Shunyamati was talking about the purification of love. Like there is love throughout society, but it's diluted versions of love. All these things, that concepts that we think of, fear, hate, all that is just it's on its journey to finding
Because
peace.
all is quantum energy, so all is on its manifestation journey, all is transforming, becoming the best version of itself, but it's always one whole thing. So it's never wrong, but we can still choose how we want to manifest, and we
Mm.
can learn and we can evolve. And that's natural change. That's using knowledge and wisdom and the masculine side to then create with the feminine side the best reality. And it's always that balance between the masculine and the feminine, that death of a moment and rebirth into the next moment, that cycle of love and of
Still more than I
learning
thought.
together. Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
No, I love when you speak.
um, so presence is love for yourself. Presence is love for yourself, all, and the whole universe. And presence is recognizing we are all one. Um, so yeah, just by being present, by grounding yourself in the moment whenever you get lost in stories, that's how you can feel the truest version of you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, so, as we've been saying, yes, all energy is this one circle of light. And
One
I
piece
think,
is peaceful. It's, I
mm,
was going to say as well, peace. The word peace means one piece of whole. Do you know what I mean? It's coming towards that being one again, peace.
and I think that recently I've been really recognizing my want to be alive and my enjoying of this physical experience, and how, when we get lost in stories that we're creating of like jealousy or judgment or anger or pain, sometimes we can forget to live in the present physical moment. But we're here in physical form because we want to experience this, because we're so used to being this flowing light and sound energy outside in the oneness that we decided to come into these bodies to experience this. So, we need to really live this to the fullest, because, yeah, energy can't be created or destroyed. We're here for a reason. And then we're going to ascend and we're going to reincarnate and experience other things.
Which is why you should never call yourself stupid, because like, or be mean to yourself in any way, because like the comparison and the creation of difference is just a manifestation of a society which you don't need to abide by, because you're your own expression of this oneness. Like there is the oneness, there is outside of time and space where everything and all knowledge is known, which you can tap into if you want, but through meditation and stuff. But you've decided to come here as a baby and be fresh of no stimuli and have this like sensational experience where you learn at a slow pace. So why, like, why call yourself stupid?
Just live and
Like,
love
yeah.
and know and keep saying, yes, I do know all, I can know all,
Hmm.
I am learning all, I am eternal healer. And don't fear the future and this change. Just go with the flow, that flow of all. Because if you fear, that's creating blockages in your life. And you want to flow with that physical form, because right now you are growing and evolving. Every 7 years you have different cells, and every single moment, if you become more present with yourself, you'll witness the growth more. But you are growing consciously as well all the time. And you can have so many experiences even in this physical life. You can, in meditation, in your sleep, do multidimensional travel and experience other parts of the universe. Like, you're never just a 3D being anyway. Right now, in your dreams, if you don't meditate, but if you do meditate as well, you'll understand what it's like to zoom around and play and explore other places, because that's what you do.
And like you, every moment, like if you start consciously breathing, just not even meditating, just in your day, realizing when you need to take a breath and realize that you're breathing in self-love, then you will feel like you are.
Balanced and
I had a point there.
like, but you're perfectly giving and receiving. The more that you deeply breathe with that
Oh, I know.
universal
Sure.
rhythm,
Mm.
the more that you will feel in peace with yourself, because you are filling with that wholeness of the universe every moment.
Yeah. And like you are choosing in that moment to live again. You like it may seem like things are bad, but you are breathing in to continue the version of life, the um, separate version of ego that you decide to live. So you are loving yourself. You're loving yourself because you're continuing to live. Do you know what I mean?
because your body and consciousness wants to live and wants to express
and wants
itself.
to explore.
And I think just like then accepting this version of life and loving what you've got and thinking, you know, this is, I get to live this version of my life once where I'm this body with this family and these friends around me. And I think don't waste this earthly life worrying about what stories you've created or what stories have happened before in the past or oh what's going to happen in the future. Just tuning into the now and not living in fear instead of focusing constantly on trauma or past experiences. You know, yes, releasing those and yes, working through those, but making sure that we're coming back into the present moment.
And crying can be in the present moment too, like
Mm.
releasing like trauma that's of society, like everything that you intake, like food or like audio or visual stimuli, and you release your food the same way that you should release the emotions created through like negative energy, um, created through concepts in society. Like just accept everything that you do in every moment.
And, you know, that acceptance can come from remembering that you are light, remembering that you are this love force, remembering that everything is quantum energy and everything's the same, and that you've never made a mistake, and that you're always perfect, and that you can't actually do wrong because you're just a playing creational force that's learning and manifesting and creating every second. Like, all you can do is not judge yourself and not judge others and just pour love into yourself and others so that then you can all reach your highest potentiality and vibrate at the highest level you can so you can all feel the most love.
How can anything ever be wrong?
It can't ever be
Because
wrong.
it's already past. It's like the moment.
It's already just
There's only
being.
the moment. That's all that there is.
And all is this powerful wisdom, this creational, passionate, talented, adventurous energy that's all seeing, all feeling, all loving, all knowing. And so we've just got to keep manifesting each present moment as it comes, breathing into that, being with that, growing in acceptance and love of that. And, you know, knowing that the universe needs us to be here in this 3D right now. You need to be watching this. We need to be saying this. We all need to be here, living this experience and changing the world together. You know,
Being
looking into
authentically
these
you.
societal concepts and yet looking into our hearts, this authentic, the true heart of ourselves, using our minds to know true wisdom, our roots to create our best reality, and, you know, our hearts ultimately, because the heart is the love center of all. And it's so powerful if we meditate, consolidate, reflect, release, renew, refresh, revitalize, and then express our truths with each other. Because we really only need to love and enjoy this present experience every moment without thinking about the past or future. We can just be, we can just create, and we can not get lost in a story and in the illusion of the realities that we're making. Because we're creator, we can create, you know, hell on earth, or we can create anything. And sometimes we can get so lost in storyland of what we've created. It's just so important to do breathing and
It feels
let
better
go of
not
those
to.
beliefs.
It feels better not to get lost in the stories of like it's so hard because of society and how the comparison and how there's judgment, but like that no one is ugly, no one is even like beautiful in terms of there being like a word for it,
It's
because
all
that's
just
like a comparison, it's
perfect.
a
One,
quantifying. It
one
all
thing.
just like is, you know what I mean? It isn't like good or bad. It's just like
Mm.
I would call it beauty in my expression because it feels good to be in alignment with what is. Do you know what I mean? And going against what is and saying and creating separation and getting lost in ideas of the
This is not
story.
as good, or putting this is a desire or this is a fear.
Mm.
I'm putting things, putting energy into external stimuli. Whereas if I'm just saying all is love, all is being, well, that's what we can create. We can create that as a
Or
consciousness
not even
collective all
saying
together.
all is love, because saying all is love again is creating a concept and ideology. It brings to mind ideas of what love is and what it means and all that stuff. But the love is literally just the feeling at the end of the day, like when you take in that breath and think about breathing in self-love, think about just the universe, like, and sit in that wholeness where you hold your breath before you breathe out
In
that love,
that fullness of all love. And
the
even on
fullness
the
and
empty
emptiness.
breath, without breath is still such a beautiful, passionate feeling. And it's just the fact that we can never be nothing. We can never be empty. We can never be space because there's always something. There's always something, and that's so magical. And we can focus all of our energy on this peaceful, loving force to really ground ourselves in that present moment, to be able to then enjoy every sensation and express ourselves fully, and fully explore this love and passion with the self. And in the end, that's becoming free of concern, free of judgment, free of worry, but free of concern, so that then you can fully express yourself, like, and just play and just be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And I think that comes a lot with self-love and learning about self-love. And if somebody doesn't like you, that shouldn't, or if you're starting to have a bad day at one point because one bad thing happens, that shouldn't change the whole outcome of your day. That shouldn't really negatively affect you. We should try and reflect on meditation and listening in and recognizing the love within and the love external and all of the love of everything.
The gratification that you expected to receive from their liking you is within you. You can just like yourself. Like, love is eternal. It isn't like, oh, I need to go around and get like a certain amount of approval or a certain amount of acceptance from who I am and what I wear,
You
because
just
I've got a
already are
meter, and
everything
there's a
loved.
limited resource of this love out there that we need to like somehow like get enough of.
It's
Like,
just infinite.
yeah.
And and yes, sometimes when something goes wrong, the reason that if everything's all one whole piece, if something over here just starts to go a bit wrong, everything's going to focus on that to try and fix it. And yes, we can focus on those issues and we can uncover them and release them, pour them into some creative outlets. But then just coming back into the present, into the wisdom, into what do I want to create next? How do I want to love this person and
Mm,
myself? How can I pour more self-love into myself so I can accept myself and others in this journey, knowing that the self is the universe, is the same thing as you and me, because we're all the same energy. So let's just work together like roots of a tree and
mm.
bind our talents and our knowledge and our creational gifts to create the best reality together with the most love that we possibly can.
And in that knowledge that the self is the universe, you can realize that it isn't selfish to not give all the energy to the stories of bad things in the world. If you are an activist or whatever and you want to help out, that's cool. But like, you can help out just as much by looking inwards and giving yourself love, so that you end up being that like loving person, and it will spread.
Because
Love
then
spreads.
you'll have a higher vibrational
Exactly.
consciousness and be able to pour more love in. You can also do distance energy healing by thinking of something like war and sending that word love, like powerful love, pouring love into that and making it
Receive it
vibrate at a
first.
higher energy, so that then
Breathe
it
in and
can
receive.
really, we can change the alchemical structure of this whole planet to make everything feel more loved and appreciate that love more, so it can all vibrate higher.
Mm.
And if we stop giving energy into negative concepts and stories, but instead give love to these stories, and if we, instead of realizing, oh, I want to desire that or I want to fear that, if instead we just be like, actually, let's just be present. Everything's already here. Everything that I need, everything that I love, everything is free.
Don't even acknowledge the stories. Don't even
Then we
like
can be
that's
free
the
from
best
that
way.
belief. And then when that belief is removed, we just gain pure love, because our beliefs are this defense against love to protect us. But the only thing that we're surrendering to is to love. So if we just surrender and just relax the body on the out breath, we can bring an end to the fight and flight away from love. And we can move away from the ego and the separation. And with its death, we can bring in this creational feminine aspect of this purification of love, where we, in meditation or yoga, recognize that love is all, because whatever's real is real because it is love, because love is this spectrum of purity. It's
Mm.
this alchemy which is that spectrum. And when we realize that love is in its purest form just one piece whole pure love, then we can recognize and be present with all the love in the purest form, because love doesn't degrade herself. When we know that we are love, we don't let ourselves be abused by others or abuse ourselves, and we don't hurt others, because we recognize that it's just peace and we're all exactly the same. So how could we hurt another? Love is this one whole heart this removal of desire and removal of fear, whereas the ego, the I am separate from you, works on desire, thinking I need this other thing, I desire that other thing, or I fear this other thing. Instead, when we appreciate that everything's love, we come from a place of power, and true peace. For desire just projects love onto other objects and other external stimuli. But when we recognize all is love and that love never can disappear, it can only become slightly impure if people aren't recognizing it, or if desire takes it. We can just keep expanding that love the more that we recognize. And desire is just based on fear, which is again just the absence of love. It's just the lack of love and somebody like needing love, which creates love in like a defiled form.
Yeah, like Shunyamurti talks about that in the Alchemy of Love video, which you can send anyone who was interested. Like, that, for example, someone would appreciate the beauty of an amazing sunset, but then and buy the land to look at the sunset, but hence because of capitalism, would rent that land to make money for other people to look at the sunsets, and it's like there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with anything, but it's like the idea of like placing something on a pedestal, being like, oh, this thing is better than the other thing, um, and and obviously capitalism thrives on that. It's like there is a service, there is something else that's worth more than this other thing.
And you
So
need
that would be
that to be
more.
more
This is more
whole.
money, and that's more money. But it's like, yeah, it's like really, it's just like all is beauty, and it's not the sunset out there that's going to give you greatness. Like it doesn't need to be a sunny day for it to be a good day. Do you know what I mean?
Because
The
everything's
light is
already
within you.
balanced.
Yeah, there's a
You
like,
just need to come into presence of that whole love.
yeah,
And the thing is, because we're living a human formed life where we see each other as separate, we can really feel that separation. And it's easier in meditation and yoga to come into that presence of wholeness, because then we see no separation. We just see all and can learn all and know all and love all.
oh.